All right, I got the rear axle up on jack stands. I'm gonna get ready to start tearing it apart, and then we'll do the front axle when we're done with that. Give you an idea what we got here. Lots of good parts. This is what we've been collecting. So we got a Eaton TruTrac for the rear and a Yukon zip locker for the front. So the reason why I went with the TruTrac on the rear is where we do a lot of towing, and we could tow in crappy weather, coming across the pass. It'd be raining down in the valley and snowing up in the top. So having that flexibility just to be able to, under a load, not have to worry about engaging a locker. This will just do it on its own. So, and from what I read, it's one of the most reliable for that under torque axles. Now, one thing about the TruTrac is you can't run synthetic gear oil in it. So we'll run normal gear oil, and I'll just change it on a regular basis. Zip locker, we'll use synthetic. We got bearing kits for front and rear. So we have all our bearings, seals, new hardware for the ring gear. We're not re-gearing it, but we are. We're going to keep it 373 gears, and then we're going to see how the Excursion does, and if I need to re-gear it at another point, then we will. But I think we're going to be okay. Especially now, we probably won't do as much towing as I originally planned, but it's going to be a highway cruiser. We want to be able to have good gears, and then off-road, it's always got a low range. I've never not had enough power, even towing with that 6-liter. And the 6-liter is going to be boosted a little bit more power, so we should be good. We got all new U-joints for the axles. We got ball joints. We got bushings. We got seals. So got lots of parts. Everything should be new on there. We'll get this figured out, and we'll get it rebuilt. All right, we're just draining differential oil. So while that's draining, I'm just gonna let it sit. We'll pull the wheels off, get those off of there, and then probably can start taking the brakes and calipers and all that good stuff off. Then we'll finish pulling the cover. Got our wheels off, and we got our brake calipers off. So we're just about ready to pull them rotors off. Sure, I've got some WD-40 sitting on there. Did that to both sides. And then also marked two punches on that side. So I know that this one goes on that side and that end is the top. Same with that, goes on that side and that end is the top. So we could probably pull this differential out, get it out of the way. So far, looking at it, it's got a real thick buildup. So, but the teeth and the gears look good. There's no pitting. I don't see. Once we get it out, we'll do a better inspection, but I think the gears are good. Yeah, we'll get that differential out. Looks like it does have a limited slip in there. So we're going to work on getting these rotors off so we can pull the axle halves out, and then we can get the differential out. All right, we got the axle halves out. Looking good. Everything looks good. So I think now we can pull our differential out, go from there. But I'm going to take a wire wheel and just kind of smooth out some of the burrs, clean up some of that, get some of the magoo, clean it, and then I'll paint it. Because I just don't want rust. I don't want it pitted. I just want it to look clean, you know. So we'll do a good job to it, get rid of any rust, and go from there. All right, we got the differential out. We'll go ahead and pull the ring gear and this tone ring off, and then also the bearings. But yeah, I just got to tilt it up, drain the rest of it out, and we just got to get that pinion gear out. So not too much more. All right, guys, went ahead and pressed the tone ring and the ring gear off of the differential in my press right there. That was the easiest way to do it. And I also removed our pinion gear, one bearing, got our crush sleeve right there. So the teeth, I don't see any damage. It's got good wear contact points. We're gonna clean it up. There's some sludging in it, not bad. But yeah, strange. This is basically this is it. That's the shim. So nothing else was there. On the Sterling rear ends, the shim is out here. They shim the bearing race. They don't shim the bearing itself. So, yeah. I'm assuming there's probably going to be shims here. So we'll press that bearing off. See if we can get it all. And then go from there. There's our C373. So that's the gear ratio. Just got to press new bearings on our carrier. Then clean up these gears, pull apart the bearing off the pinion, press this gear on. Probably fire up the stove tomorrow to set that onto my carrier and go from there. But I think, let me see what else. Maybe before I call it a night, I'll try to get this bearing off. So tomorrow it's just cleaning and assembly. Differential back together, set, and maybe put it all back together. Yeah, that's kind of what we're working on right now. It's going to take some cleaning up, but we'll get it. So I use this bearing puller with my vise to pull this bearing off. So it's loose. Looks like, yeah, so we got shims there. So we'll pay attention to what shims are where. Looks like that's the only one. Pull that off. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just the one shim. So we'll clean it up and we'll plan on putting this shim back on there and starting our adjustments from that point. So we are done with the ring and pinions ready to be reinstalled just after cleaning. Uh-oh. Never mind. Looks like we just lost a tooth. That's not good. Son of a gun. Pick up where we left off last night. After we pressed the pinion bearing off, we found damaged pinion gear. And this piece here is part of the pinion gear that we found. And then we also found another tip where it's completely missing. Actually, you can see it right there. And then after I found that, I dug around inside the case, the housing, and I found this, which looks like a piece of bearing cage material. Got chewed up. So I'm guessing this rear end probably ate a bearing at some point. They pulled it apart, re-bearinged it, didn't do a good job cleaning it, and either damaged the pinion when they were in the process, hitting it with a hammer or something. And then that... or they left this metal in there and it got flung around there and chewed up the gear. Who knows? Either way, we needed new gears. So these are 373 gears that are in it. And I was going to run with them. Just we got to buy new gears anyways. We're going to re-gear. So we're going to go to 411 gears. I just ordered them today. So that's where we're sitting. For the rear axle, the only thing I got left is to pull out the pinion seal so I can get that other bearing out and then drive out the 2 races. So we'll probably do that today, right now. Get it out of here or get them out of there and then maybe start cleaning it up, or we'll start tearing apart the front axle. That'd be the next thing. That one. All right, so just kind of drove the seal out. There's your pinion seal. I did notice there was a spacer. So to keep track of that, and then we have our forward or outer pinion bearing. So, all right. So now you can see we got to drive the inner bearing race down, and then this one will drive from the other end and drive it out. And then this one's ready to be put together after it's cleaned up. All right, Jenna's helped me now. We got the front axle our Super 60 on the jack stands. She's pulling lug nuts off. We're gonna pull the wheels, and then we'll just pull the diff cover, drain the oil. While it's draining, then we'll start taking the steering linkages off and just work our way down. This one's getting new ball joints. I think I got new U-joints, seals all over. Janice, she's got all steering linkages off. Now she's taking the diff cover to drain the gear oil out of it. You just hand them to me. Watch your shoes. She's sneaking out on us. You can get some more floor sweep if you want. Okay, so Jen and I are gonna call it a night. We got quite a bit done. Tomorrow I'll clean up and we'll finish pulling off the hubs and the ball joints and probably pull the differential out. Don't see any damage inside, no wear and tear on it. No metal chunks like the other one, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and get everything stripped down and ready to put back together. At least start cleaning it so when we get the new gears, then we can start reassembling it. So we're gonna call it a night. Put on. We did get our ring gears in, so we'll unbox those and kind of look at them, make sure there's no damage. First, don't mind my mess down here. I've just been sweeping stuff right up underneath because I had a big oil spill, so I'm just letting it absorb it all in. But we got the axle half shafts out, so we're pretty good. We could pull the differential, but I think I'm going to wait and pull these knuckles off. New U-joints for the axle shafts. They're not wore out, but since I'm tearing apart, might as well put new axle shafts, new inner seals, new outer seals, new upper and lower ball joints. We'll put new tie rods in the steering. We'll do that to both sides. It's getting a Yukon zip locker, and we got new bearings. So we'll put 411 gears with the new locker, and we'll shim it, new pinion gear and bearings. So this thing will be fully rebuilt, but we'll get her tore down and then cleaned up. Don't know if we'll get it painted. The weather kind of took a turn, but I'm hoping at least have it ready so when it starts warming back up, we'll get some paint on here. Well, let me start working on these ball joints so we can get these knuckles off. So this is 0.0 degrees to 0.4 degrees positive. I'm gonna look for a replacement one that will give us more. That way I don't have to worry about death wobble. So now I'm going to pull our cat bolts off and try to get this differential removed, and then we'll work on the pinion shaft. All right, this is coming apart pretty quick. We got the differential out. Went ahead and pulled the pinion, so it's pretty straightforward. Just pull that pinion nut off, and the flange slides right off, no puller needed, and then the pinion gear pulls right out. Then you remove your seal from your pinion seal, and that allows you to get that front bearing and I guess this would be the rear bearing, the bearing closest to your flange, and the thrust washer that's on there, and those slide out. So, and then I got the crushed sleeve, which is there. So everything that is on there that came apart. Now we got 2 bearing races and that splash shield that we got to drive out. We'll just get a punch, probably turn the axle a little bit, drive that one out first, and then go in and drive the bigger inner one out. And then we'll drive those seals out. So those 2 seals, once those 2 seals are out, we are done. This thing's pulled apart. So we'll clean it real good. All right, we got the Dana 60 all tore apart. See, we got inner seals taken out. We got our bearing races taken out. Don't see any damage, any signs that this axle had any issues. That's it. I'll take it apart. I think my battery's probably getting weak. We've already done 2 other ball joints, the 3rd one, so I'll swap out the battery and then we'll hammer off that one. All right, this is how I was showing you. You get that bigger one out, you got plenty of room. You can probably do it the other way too. That's just the way I did it. Get your impact through there, put a new battery on, and it'll press out that ball joint. So let's see. So yeah, that's how I did it. Just show you the kit that I have. It is just that one there. Ball joint, U-joint, service kit. So definitely works better. But all right, I got the ball joint out. It's the last one. We'll disassemble everything. These are gonna get cleaned up and painted. But now I'm gonna be cleaning up everything. This mess I have. There's the other 3 ball joints. And start cleaning. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one where we start building these. We'll paint it, rebuild them, new front air locker and rear mechanical limited slip, and we'll get it all cleaned up, painted, and put together with new parts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.